So for dinner tonight, I am going to make a marinated grilled chicken. I'm gonna try it in the air fryer, which I've never done. But my sister tried this and she said it turned out so good and was so easy. So I thought I would try it. I am just going to make my own marinade here. This is actually 2 very large chicken breasts. These are breast meat from our own chickens that we raise in the summer here. So I had them frozen and thawed those out. It's quite a bit of chicken. It's only 2 breasts and they are cut up a little bit more. So I'm not measuring anything because I don't for a marinade, but I'm going to put on some oil. We're going to put in some red wine vinegar. I just think that gives it a really good flavor. I'm going to sprinkle in some oregano. And some basil. I'm going to do some garlic salt. And just a little bit of black pepper. And that's all that's going to go in. Just needs to give it that flavor. I'm going to get it all stirred around just so it's mixed. Probably should have used a bigger bowl just to be able to stir it. But this will be fine for marinating it because I really want to make sure the chicken is sitting all fully in the marinade so I can get those flavors throughout. And this is actually in the morning. We're not going to have this until dinner tonight, but I want it to marinate all day. So I'm going to grab a top and we're going to get that on there and get it in the fridge. So it is now dinner time, almost 10 to 6. We have a church coda tonight, so I'm keeping it fairly simple. I'm going to do that chicken. I'm going to cook some of the Spanish rice as a side. There's 1 2/3 cup of water, and I just bring it to a boil. I just turned it down so it wouldn't boil away. And I'm going to add the packet in. Oops. And let me just see what it says. Stir, bring to a boil, and then cover and simmer for 3 minutes. Allow to stand covered for 8 minutes and stir before serving. So I'm going to do that. I'm dropping things all over. Here is my chicken that I marinated all day. It's on a grill pan that I have for my air fryer. And I'm going to stick that in the air fryer. And I have never done this before. What my sister said on 375 for like 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm just going to check it as we go. And then as a veggie, I'm going to do some of these steamed fresh sweet peas. I bought the Bird's Eye. We have not been happy with the like generic or the Great Value brand because they're just really big peas and they're not very sweet. They're just kind of big and starchy. So I'm hoping that these are better. And that's going to be our dinner for tonight. Okay, so it's another day, another dinner. And what are we having for dinner today? It is going to be tacos. We do have a lot of ground beef in the freezer, and I also have a lot of iceberg lettuce that we are given to use up. So that's a good way to do that. We're going to actually have more of a taco salad and scoop the filling up with some chips. So that is what's for dinner tonight. So I just defrosted the meat and put it in the pan. I think, I can't really remember. I'm pretty sure these are bigger than 1 pound packages because we usually go through more than 1 pound. So I think maybe we have these put in 1.5 pounds. I'm not giving you any recipe for this, so it doesn't really matter, but I think this is 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and I'm going to let that brown up. And to that, I am also going to add, this do not look pretty on the screen, but this is a can of home canned pinto beans. I like to get the dry beans and then can them up myself. It's a lot cheaper and I don't know, I figure it's better quality. I know what's going in my cans. And there's no preservatives in them. So it's starting to look better than rinsing them off. Of course, gets all that goo just from being in the jar. So those look good. And as soon as the meat is browned up, I'm going to add these in, and then I am actually going to smush them up as much as I can because my family doesn't think that they like beans, although if I put beans in something, if I put beans in something and they can't see them, they're fine with them. Add some extra protein, some extra nutrients, so I'll put those in with the meat. I just got done washing my eggs over here. So I did add in those beans. You can hardly tell that they're in here. You can see little pieces, but they'll be okay with that. Put in some water, and then I also added taco seasoning, although that's not what's actually in this bottle. It's a huge bottle, 24 ounces, but I've had this for years, so it looks a little worse for the wear, and I just fill it up with my own taco seasoning, which, yep, I can't see the recipe anymore, so I'm gonna have to look it up again. But it's very good, and it's cheaper. Just make your own. So I do it in there. I am going to add some home canned corn into here. I'm not sure what they'll think about that, but we're gonna try it. This season's corn, I mean, we usually love corn, but for some reason this season's corn just, it didn't turn out as good. It's not bad, it's just, I don't know, it's not as flavorful, so we're tending not to just eat it so much on the side. So I'm thinking in here it will be good and they won't mind. So there is the taco filling, and I'm cutting up some lettuce and onions, and we're gonna have the taco salads. I'll show you when they're done. Okay, and this is how this is going to plate up. I put some crushed chips. There were kind of pieces left in the bottom of the bag, which is why I was making these taco salads. On the bottom, put some of that mixture on top. I'm gonna put the cheese on, melt that, and be set. Good morning. New day, new dinner. I'm actually starting this in the morning because we are gonna have our big meal at noontime because I think we're going to be gone tonight. We have to go shopping for a few things, so I thought I would do this now. Pork chops is one of my family's favorite, and actually I have pork steaks today. I only have to feed 3 for dinner. So these are 2 very large pork steaks. And I am doing this in the Instapot because I just want it to be quick and easy. So like I said, you can see these are 2 very large pork steaks. I just defrost them enough to get the papers off, basically. So they are still pretty frozen, which I don't mind doing at all. It will add a little bit more water, but I'm not really following the recipe, so it doesn't matter. I basically just want enough liquid in it that I can create a gravy with the sauce afterwards to put over some noodles. So I just put in 1 cup of water, and I'm gonna add 1 more. And then I know those pork steaks are gonna release a lot of water as they thaw and cook. So I just put those in. I do have the trivet in the bottom just so the meat doesn't give me a burn notice on it, which it often will if I don't have the trivet in there. And I have some of this onion soup and seasoning mix. I got this at a discount store. It's lasted a really long time. It's been very useful. I am not measuring because I don't. If I can get the top to stay open, I am just literally going to sprinkle it over. I don't know, it's probably a couple of tablespoons. And when it's done, if it needs more flavoring, I can add it then. That won't be a big deal. So I'm gonna put the lid on this, and I'm probably gonna cook it for about 45 minutes. Like I said, they are frozen and I want them to be super tender when they're done. I am also going to make a quick sour cream substitute because I hardly ever keep sour cream on hand. We don't usually use it for things like tacos and stuff. It goes in recipes, so I don't mind doing this. I just put in, oh, I don't know, maybe 2 teaspoons of lemon juice and about a cup or so of milk. This is just our farm fresh milk, just came from the tank this morning. And I'm gonna put that in the fridge and I'm gonna let it, I hate this word, but coagulate. So it just becomes thicker and tangy, and it behaves like sour cream when you put it in a recipe. So I'm gonna put that aside to do its thing until the meat is ready. My water is boiling, so I'm going to drop down the pasta. I have no idea how much is in there, but it looks like enough to feed 3 people. Bring that up to a boil. And I also decided to cut up a few mushrooms that I have. My boys will not like this, but my husband likes mushrooms, so I'm just going to put it on his serving. And then I took out the pork steaks, not pork chops. So it has some like darker meat mixed in. I did pick out all the bones and any fat that was on it and just chop this up. It is super tender. I've got my Instapot on saute mode, and I'm bringing that up to a boil. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of a flour water slurry to thicken it up. And I'm going to add in my, yeah, you can see it's kind of congealed, my fake sour cream. Just let this boil for a couple minutes, and it should make it into a gravy-like consistency, and then I'll add the sour cream, fake sour cream. So that has thickened up nicely. I'm going to add in my sour cream mixture, and that's going to continue to thicken. Of course, that just made it more loose, but that's fine. It will continue to thicken. And see if I can add in my meat with one hand. There we go. Add in the pork back in because it was a little bit cooled off. So get that heated through, and that will thicken up and make a nice pork gravy. We are also going to be having some, these are just little bits of leftovers, broccoli and peas and a little bit of carrots, so I'll just let them pick what they want. So this is what it's looking like so far. I've got the mushrooms, this is my husband's plate, the noodles and the sauce and gravy, thickened up really nice, and of course the spot for whatever vegetable he picks. And that's dinner for today. We are, I believe, on our 4th day of dinners. Yesterday I actually didn't have to cook a dinner because we were gone. In the bottom of my Instapot, I put just, I don't know, I didn't measure, a bunch of frozen green peppers from the freezer from last year's garden. And then this is just a red onion that I had bought. Put that on top. I'm sitting my fillet on top of that just because I forgot to put it in earlier, but I don't want the meat to hit the bottom. I'm going to put in 3 packages of these pork fresh Polish link sausage. We've got 8 of us here for lunch today, and I do want to have leftovers for the week. So I'm going to put those right on top of there. And then I'm going to pour over at least 1 jar of sauce. I'm thinking that's probably enough because the sausage will render out some juice too. So I don't know what you want to call that. Polish sausage sauce, peppers and onions, and then I'm going to make some rice. And we'll put that over rice and have it with a salad. And that's what's for dinner today. And I did also make banana bread, and it makes 2 loaves. So I turned this one into a chocolate banana bread. It does have a little bit of cinnamon in it. Don't ask me, I just thought it might taste good together. That one was done because it's a little bit thinner. And then that's also just a regular banana bread. So we are back on this What's for Dinner series this week, and I am going to make homemade pizza. I think that's probably been on my channel before, maybe for a birthday, but that's what we're having for dinner tonight. So into my bowl, I put 2 cups of just lukewarm water, a tablespoon of yeast, and a tablespoon of sugar. I don't know where I got this recipe. I've had it forever. I keep it, see all my recipes tacked on the inside of my cupboard, the ones I use most. Yeah, it just says pizza dough. So there's the recipe if you want to screenshot it. That's what I use. It does make a very puffy crust, but my family seems to like that. So I just let that proof, which just means to let it sit and let the yeast metabolize the sugar for about, I guess that's probably about 8 minutes. And let's see what I have to add next. I am going to put in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a teaspoon of salt, and 5 cups of flour. This is actually a half teaspoon. I used my teaspoon and it's dirty. So there is a teaspoon of salt. And I believe I'm out of olive oil, but I have to check. And I just remembered vividly what happened to my olive oil. I had it in a nice dispenser, and I dropped it right on our ceramic floor. So it was broken, and all of the olive oil went with it, and I haven't replaced it. So I just obviously didn't measure very well. I'm just using vegetable oil, which I don't use often at all. I don't use much oil actually at all, but this will work. It's fine. So this is number 5. Of course, I ran out of flour upstairs. I'm always running out of flour upstairs. But this container fits, I think this is, yeah, a 10-pound bag. I go through so much flour. So I keep it in bulk in my basement in 5-gallon Gamma Seal lids, or Gamma Seal lid buckets. And then I just have to replace her from there. I don't have enough room in my kitchen to store that much flour. So that was my 5th cup of flour. I'm gonna put this down, and I'm just gonna let it mix until it's in a ball. Usually 5 cups of flour does it, so I probably won't have to add any more. I'm gonna let it mix, and then I'm gonna let it knead for probably another 5 minutes until it looks elastic. This is what it looks like when it's all obviously formed together, and that has been kneading about 5 minutes, which is enough. I mean, it's not totally elastic, but it will be fine. And it's obviously holding together because it's staying on my dough hook. So this actually has to, I'm gonna take it off the dough hook, and then it has to rest for 20 minutes, and then I can make up my pizza. So here is what the finished pizza is looking like. I made myself a gluten-free vegan pizza on the side, and I just cut up a fresh pineapple, and that's what we are having for dinner tonight. See you in the next one. For dinner tonight, we are keeping it simple and having some steak. So I have 1 rib steak and 1 T-bone steak. Just pulled out the ones I could find quick from the freezer. I unthawed them in the fridge for the day. I seasoned the one side, just sprayed the pan. It's nice and hot. And this is just steak seasoning, I just found a recipe on Pinterest. Actually, I've had it for a while, so I don't even know what one it was. Just gonna shake that on kind of liberally. So I'm gonna sear those on both sides, and then I'm going to stick it in the oven. I just turned my oven on. I'm gonna stick it in at 400 and just cook it until it's medium well. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I'm just gonna check until it's medium well, because that's how I like them. So you can probably hear the steak sizzling in the background. I don't know how loud this is going to be. I also have some fresh asparagus, and I washed that up already. And how I find, because the bottom part is tough, so if you just bend the bottom part until it that one naturally broke up high. I don't think that's where it is. Let's see again. Where it naturally breaks, so about that much off of this bunch, and then I just put it in a bunch and cut off that much of the ends. And I'm going to cook this in my air fryer. And I have done it before, but I totally forget. I'm going to put it in at 400. We actually like it kind of crispy. I'm going to spray some olive oil spray and some salt and pepper, and that's all we do with it. So actually I'll get my air fryer basket out. I'm liking my new air fryer. That one that has shelves on it, and I've used it a lot. I really want to look forward to using it as the rotisserie function and see how that works. Didn't have all my stuff out. All right, so I just spray it with a little bit of olive oil. Spray. Sprinkle it with some pepper. It looks like I'm putting a lot on, not much comes out at a time. So this actually isn't that much pepper. It's a really coarse ground pepper that I bought for some reason, but I'm using it up. And then just sprinkle a little salt over that. And I will stick that in my air fryer, 400. Like I said, I'm not sure how long. Probably gonna take like 15 minutes. I know a lot of people think that we're crazy for eating it crispy, but that's the way we like it. And my husband will definitely eat this. My one son will definitely eat this. My other one won't, but he will probably just grab some salad that's already cut up in the fridge, or some carrots or something. So, yeah. And what else do we have with this? We have several fruits in the fridge. So we have some applesauce that I had opened up, which is just from the store. We have some home canned peaches, a fresh pineapple, so we'll open something else up with that. So we are having a really quick and easy dinner just to kind of get rid of some leftover stuff that I have in the fridge for tonight, but it will still be yummy. These are actually hamburger rolls that have seen better days. They're in my freezer. They got flattened, but honestly, they're great to make into garlic toast. So I just put on some butter and some refrigerated minced garlic. This is the sauce that we had the other day when I made sausage and peppers, and this was sauce that I had home canned, and so that flavored it through really well. There's no chunks of sausage left in here, but it's still flavored with the sausage and has really good flavor. So I'm going to use that, and I decided to make some of this pasta, just barilla, whatever, shells. So I've got that going in the water here, and I had just a little bit of cauliflower left in the fridge I want to get rid of. So cooking up the rest of that. It won't be enough for everyone, which is fine because not everyone likes cauliflower. And so I actually cut up some cucumbers that we had left as well. And I'm just snacking on some grapefruit. These are like the best grapefruit that we were given. So good. Don't have to put sugar on them or anything. Just eat them like they are. And there's my oven timer going off. And that's going to be dinner. maybe I'll try to insert a picture of a plate if I can, but everyone will be in a minute and I'm not comfortable filming in front of people yet. So that's what we're having for dinner. Pretty simple, pretty quick, but will be very filling. And that's gonna be my last dinner that I'm filming for this video. So I hope you enjoyed everything, and if you liked it, if you could give me a thumbs up, that would be great. And if you haven't subscribed yet, if you would subscribe, that always helps me out. But I hope you enjoyed the meals we had this week. It was just kind of using what we have and working around whatever our schedule was. So thanks, see you guys next time.